All right, good morning. Today we're looking at a variant of a previous ship that I built called the Gateway. So this will be our Gateway Mark II build. I've been working on this for about a week now, trying to improve on it as much as I can. The big changes are I've slightly elongated the ship, which has allowed me to add a lot more hab space. I've swapped out the White Dwarf 3015 engines with these SAE 5660s to give me more cargo capacity at a cost of a little bit of a lower speed. I've moved the landing bay from the rear up to the front here. And actually the hardest part of this whole build was trying to get the one ladder to run up all three decks instead of having them just spread out all over the place. And through a lot of trial and error and cussing, I was able to finally get that to work. And I'm happy with this. It's got a completely flat top. There's nothing, it's completely streamlined on the top. Yeah, I think it came out pretty good. We'll get down to the shipbuilder, I'll take it apart, and I'll take you for a tour on the inside, and we'll go in combat and see how it performs. Alright, we're down here in the shipbuilder. As you can see, it's got a pretty pleasing aesthetic, I think. Managed to up the jump range to 30 light years, 100 mobility, 140 top speed. This is down from 180 from dumping the White Dwarf 3015 engines and installing these SAE 5660 engines. I did that because I wanted to get the cargo up to a more usable level. I think with the White Dwarf 3015 engines, you'd be lucky to get just over 1,000. And so I've more than tripled the amount of cargo by switching to these engines. And I don't find that extra 40 speed makes any difference in combat. For the shields, I'm using the most powerful shield generator, which is this 28T Defender. It's 1500. It's only 100 max shield health, less than the most powerful Class C generator. So it's pretty nice. Max crew of 10. And I'll talk about some issues I had with this, with the making the one ladder that runs up all three decks. This is deck 1, deck 2, and deck 3. So I wanted to have one ladder that ran up the length of the spine here, and instead of having them all over the place. And it was a supreme pain in the ass. Some weird things that I would do, like would change it so it wouldn't work anymore. Like I thought, I have two control stations here, and I was like, well, I'll just use a battle bridge or a battle station, right? And that will save some weight, and that will give me 6 crew members, which would drop me to 8, which is the max anyways. But as soon as I switch these two habs to the one battle station, the stupid bridge or the door on this thing right here that goes down into the deck 2 would disappear. So you'd have to go up to get to deck 2. You'd have to go up all the way to 3 and then down a ladder to get back to 2. It was just stupid. I don't know why it does this, but using 2 of these, I don't know, it worked after that. Don't ask me why, but this game is kind of frustrating sometimes. Like I said, I've switched out the aesthetic. If you look at it from the top, it looks like a giant arrowhead. And like I cleaned up the top a little bit. And I did increase the length a little bit. So now it's 30. So it's 60 meters long and 38 meters wide. So, alright, well, let me take it apart and see if I can figure out how to put it all back together. And then I'll take you for a tour on the inside. Alright, we're down in the shipbuilder. I've got this thing pulled apart. I'm going to be using a shipbed 200 landing bay from Tayo. And 4 of these NG20 landing gears in their wide configuration. Alright, for the base of the ship, we're going to be using a Nova Galactic cargo hull. And then on the ends of it, well, it'll be sitting there like that eventually. On the front end, we have a infirmary that's going to go right here. 2 landing gears are going to go right here. This MAG 104 DS inertial reactor will go right here. Actually, you know what? Let's move these out of the way. Connect that there. And now we can hook up our gears to the sides. Excuse me. And then a Galleon S204 cargo hold can go right here. And then we'll put our engines on either side. These are the SAE 5660 engines. You get these at Neon. These are the best, or the highest producing thrust for Class B engines. And then in this little cavity right here, we can do our 2 Titan 550 HE fuel tanks. Let's see, how do we want to do this? I guess we'll do the, hang on a second. Alright, sorry, I'm back. Yeah, I see what I did here. So, yeah, we're going to put the Nova Galactic Mess Hall 2x3 and line it up with the gears. We're going to leave room for 3 2x1 habs. And we're going to put a Nova Galactic Control Station in one, another Nova Galactic Control Station right there. Actually, let's do it this way. And then the Nova Galactic Workshop will go on the side here. So 2 control stations. That gives you 4 crew members each, and a workshop. I didn't know the workshop gave you passenger slots. I just noticed that. So that's deck 2. We'll do deck 3, and that's going to be our deck 3 is all living quarters for the crews. So just like that. And it's going to be 1, 2, 3 living quarters, 2x1 from Nova Galactic. And I put in captain's quarters over here for personal quarters for myself on the side here. This is the infirmary. So this is where, well, I'll tell you what, we go ahead and hook up our ship bed, 200 landing bay, and it'll go right there. Right on top of this infirmary, we're going to start stacking our Nova Galactic companionways 1 by 1. So they'll go right there and right there. And what this does is these force the ladders to go where these companionways are. So you come into the ship bed 200 landing bay, right here into this infirmary, and all the ladders just go straight up right here. So that's the only ladders in the ship. Honestly, I tried putting a computer core right here, and it removes the ladder from the bottom. I tried different habs. I found the infirmary worked the best, but for some reason, like half the habs you use, if you put a 2x1, like I said, the computer core, that ladder will be like down here somewhere. It screws up the whole thing. So like I said, I don't know how the game is choosing, where to put the ladders and stuff. It doesn't seem to have any rhyme or reason to me. But typically using these companionways will force the ladder there. And I could have used 3 of these companionways all the way down to make sure, there's no chance of the ladder. But then I would have to have, I would have to give up this 2x1 hab, and I really wanted to just have at least one, because I'd have to waste some space here, to get, because you'd have to have a 1x1 here, and then you just have to put another 1x1 right here. So it's like you'd have to come into the cargo hall and then go through 2 doors just to get to the ladder, and I was trying to avoid that. But it'll be more apparent when I show you the tour of the inside of how convenient it is the way I've got it set up. So this is the base of the ship, and at the front here, we're going to use these Nova Cowlings 2L. We're going to put one Actually, let's start from the back, just so it's easier for me to visualize. We're going to be using a bunch of these Nova cowlings, and these right here, these Nova cowlings 2Ls. They're just the ones in the mid variant. You can have them facing backwards, forwards, or the middle. So we're going to start from the back. It's going to be a Nova cowling 2L. Then we're going to stick it right there so that the tip is flush with the rear engine. Then we're going to put a Nova cowling 2L right here. And then the third one will go right there. And we'll do the same thing for the other side. Be flush with the back. It's on deck 2 is what these should be lined up with, yeah. The middle. Put that one there. And then we're going to put this right there, the middle variant of the Nova cowling 2L. Then another 2L Nova cowling right there. And then we're going to put, if we get on there right there. I feel like I'm messing this up. This should be this one. The only difference is I got the guns already mounted, but all the top, right? I just wanted the top to be completely cleared of everything. So if you look at it from the side, it's just completely flat. So, all right. So that looks right. We'll hook up our Magellan C1X cockpit to the deck 3, the highest deck. And then we're going to use a Aurora 13G grav drive, and it's going to stick right up under the chin. And then we're going to use 2 of these Nova Galactic braking engines. I'm going to stick one there, one there. And then we're going to put a Nova Galactic 2L right there. Sorry if I'm going a little slow. I'm looking at a picture on my other screen so I can remember how to put this together because I'm a moron. Yeah, and that one goes right there. Another Nova Galactic or Nova cowling 2L. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 10. Wait, am I doing that right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're using 12 of these Nova cowlings, so that's a lot of them. But if you look at it, like I said, if you look at it from the top, it gives it a nice kind of aerodynamic look, which I guess in spaceflight it doesn't really matter, but whatever. I was going for looks on this. I've done enough of the max cargo builds, so now I'm just trying to build something aesthetically pleasing. On the sides of these rear 2x1 habs, we're going to be using 2 of these. Are these the same thing? Okay, so these are the Nova cowling 2Ls. These are the Nova cowling 1Ls. And if you see the variants, they have rear, forward, and midsection. So we're just using the rear and the forward. And we'll do it like that. Same thing for the other side. 2 more of these Nova cowling 1Ls. Just like that. So when you look down, it's kind of, well, I guess it's not really centered, is it? I wonder if I could, probably shouldn't be trying to figure this out in the middle of a ship build video. No, that's right. I know why I didn't do that, because there's no way to connect it up here. It's all coming back to me. So yeah, anyways, it's just flush with these 2x1 habs. As far as cargo, on this side we're going to use 3 of these DeGamma 1020 cargo holds, and you get these at Neon or Cheyenne or Aquila City. Basically any of the Freestar Collective ports will sell these DeGamma cargo holds. On this side we're going to be using 3 1010s. Stick them in there just like this. So it's 3 1010s on this side and 3 1020s on this side. Weapons mounts, I'm going to be putting a Horizon weapons mount on the forward gear. And then one thing I did notice when I was putting this together is you don't actually need 4 gears. You can get by with 3, but I didn't have a way to just stick one up here without it making it look weird. You know, I'd had to move this back to the back, which I didn't want to do because I wanted to just have the docker up front, or the landing bay up front. So I just added a 4th gear just to make everything look symmetric. And then on the back, we'll stick that there, and I'll go over the weapons and everything here in just a second. And we'll stick you, if I can grab it, right there, right under the chin. Our shield generator is this 28T Defender. This is the best C-class, or excuse me, the best B-class shield generator you can get, and it's a side mount. You can mount it either on the left or the right. I'll just stick it right there. Actually, you know, put it on the side just so the pictures are all the same. The last 2 pieces are going to be this 100 DP Slim Docker, which you can get in Jemison on New Atlantis. And we're going to put it right there. So that way, when you come through the landing bay or through the docker, you're right there at the ladder. So there's just that one big ladder that runs up through the top of the ship. And then to cap off this Aurora 13G grav drive, we're just going to stick this Hope Tech Nose B4. You can pick these up at Polvo, at Hopetown. That's where I get them from. Most of the rest of the parts come from either New Atlantis on Jemison, or you can go over to, well, like the cockpit you have to get from, no, you don't have to get that one there. But most of the parts I picked up, like the gears, you have to get from New Homestead on Titan. So while I was there, most of the stuff here is just Nova Galactic, so I just picked up everything at New Homestead. I think it came out pretty good. This stupid reactor is unable to be painted, which annoys the hell out of me. I actually almost switched out the reactor just because of the looks to one of these DC 303s. You lose a little bit of power, but at least it kind of goes in with the gear, you know. But whatever. It just irritates me the way that looks. But like I said, I think this is a pretty nice looking ship. It's kind of long and thin. Very thin looking. I had some ideas on making it even longer, but maybe that'll be for a future build. I'm not going to go too crazy with it right now. But like I said, the biggest changes were I removed the 3014 or 3015 Dwight Dwarf engines. I put these SAE 5660s on here, which I kind of like. It doesn't really matter. I guess if you wanted the speed, it's actually pretty easy to just... oh, those are A-class engines, aren't they? It would be pretty easy to just, you know, swap these out. You'd have to reduce your cargo afterwards. Because, let me show you what happens here. Your cargo, your mobility would drop down to 44 using these engines. You get more speed, but your cargo is reduced, or mobility is reduced by over 50%, which is pretty significant. You can use the Control Z to back up, you know, to undo previous changes you made. I'm just going to keep doing it until I get rid of everything. There we go. So we're back to the beginning here, the nominal. For weapons, I'm using 4 of these PV-175 Helion beams, 4 of these PVO-175 auto Helion beams, and 6 of these Vanguard auto or obliterator auto projectors. I also have a conduction grid, which increases shield regeneration by 25%, and the comm spike, which reduces my time to lock on to enemy ships by 25%. And you can get those by doing the Crimson Fleet faction and actually siding with them. And as I said in my previous video, there's no reason not to side with the Crimson Fleet, because you don't lose anything. You can still come to the UC territory, and they're still friendly with you. They're not going to attack you on sight or anything. So you're basically just opening up the key, which is the space station, over the Crix system. So it gives you a big port to add to your where you can go, and you can sell like contraband and all that, and sell your weapons and stuff, everything there, and it's convenient. But this is the bottom. It's got that big cargo deck on deck 1. Nice and symmetric looking. Yeah. So let me get into the inside. It's nice having the Docker up front. You know, sometimes I put them on the back, but with these big engines, that just means you got to run around the ship every time you land. You know, when we're going to re-enter the ship. Okay, so we come into the infirmary, and if you can see, we can just have this one ladder that runs all the way up to the top, deck 1, 2, and 3. So we go straight back, and this will take us into the cargo deck. Lots of space back here. I like these cargo decks when you can use them, because it's just, from a logical standpoint, it's nice to have somewhere to store all this crap, you know, on the ship. There's actually a bathroom in the cargo deck or the cargo halves for some reason. I tried to make this infirmary a computer core at first, and it kept removing. Every time I changed that hab right there to something other than this infirmary, this door disappears. So to get to deck 2, I'd have to go up and then back and then down, like over there somewhere in the back. It's freaking annoying. So for some reason, the infirmary worked. It took me forever to figure that out, what was going on. So anyways, deck 2 is the mess hall. Oh, somebody put a plant here. So we've got a nice little eating area. We've got the kitchen here with a stove, refrigerator. So this is like a little pantry. And there's 2 doors on either end. So if we go back here, this is the workstation that I put in. And then on this side is the control stations, the crew stations to get my crew members up to 8, or actually it's 10 now. Now I did try to put these 3 habs up front and the mess hall on behind the 3 habs, and it screwed up the ladder, of course, because everything did. So if you come back here, you just have the 2 habs where all the crew members will work. Deck 3 is all living quarters. So you got a bed, little area to hang out, and then there's 3 habs back here, or another all-in-one hab. So it's 2 all-in-one habs, and then on the left and right here, you got the 3rd all-in-one hab. And instead of going with the 4th all-in-one hab, I put the captain's quarters over here for like myself, which I don't even know why, because I find people sleeping in my bed all the time. Core is always walking around in here. It's like, I wish they would program it so that the crew members would not come into the crew captain's quarters, because it just seems like this is my personal space. Talking to you, kid. That's right. Did you ever get a new shirt? How come you're always wearing the same clothes? Going up to the front here. Like I said, this is the ladder. Whoop. I've already broke like 3 legs doing this. So we'll go through the hatch here, go into the cockpit. You got 2 workstations here, plus the 2 control habs brings you up to, they're 4 each, plus these 2 is 10 crew members total. We'll get into orbit, take a look at some of the cargo and everything that we have, and with all the payloads and SAM buffs applied.
Ship's good. Buckle up and let's go. insertion complete. You may now move
Oops.
freely about the cabin.
What's going on here? Am I hitting the wrong button? So you can see shields 2400. I got I have the isolation skill, which increases my damage from the ships by 40%. So if your weapons, if you have the same weapons and they're doing less damage, that's why. As long as I don't have a companion that's following me, that's not to say crew members. You can have all the crew members assigned to the ship, but as long as I don't have a like Sam or Sarah or Andrasia following me, then I'll get that 40% damage buff from either ships and from my handheld weapons, which is really nice. Cargo, I came up just short of 6,000. I was trying to get it to 6,000, but I was having to make too many sacrifices on the looks, which was not what I was going for. I wanted the ship to look nice over like cargo capacity, because I've got other ships that have way more cargo than this, if that's something you need. But yeah, it came out pretty good. Reactor power is at 44, so 40 is the max, and then I have the, or no, it's 39 from this reactor, and then I have 5 points from skills that I get extra. And I don't mess with shielded cargo because I can just go to the cricks and sell all my contraband there. So it's a pretty nice looking ship. Anyways, we'll fly over to the Serpentis system, play around with the zealots. I spent like half an hour just flying around testing this thing earlier, and it's pretty trivial.
All right.
Of course,
Switching
we're in the middle
grav
of an
drive
asteroid
to
field as
normal
usual.
propulsion.
The great serpent demands blood.
Try to get in behind them.
Ah! Got their grav drive.
Go.
Nice. Looks like you need that grav drive.
Every time I see the antimony thing, I think it says alimony. Start having like, just thinking like, no, I don't want to pay alimony. Just hit the rock.
You shall be judged. We must fix our engines quickly.
The target's sitting there with no grav drive now. Nice. They just lost their grav drive.
I've seen a lot of people online, not a lot, but I mean, I see posts on Reddit that people are having a hard time with combat, and it's usually people at the low level. And it is difficult at the beginning because you get those laser weapons that are really low powered, and then you have no shields. You know, if you're like level, because a lot of these parts in the ship that I built, you have to be level 60 to unlock everything. You can't just put this ship together on day one, even if you have the money to do it. And then I have all the skills to make this so much easier. Like particle beam weapons increases my damage by 30%. Shields are huge, 60%. You know, and occasionally I just don't even get hit by them. Like it's massive. So if you really want to get into space combat, you need to just start working on those skills. And they once you get the actual skill points, they go fast. It does not take long to actually level up the skills themselves. It's just getting that skill point. You know, you have to level up to the next level. Because I'm level 195, and it's actually getting hard to get enough experience to level. It takes forever. I've seen guys at like 300. I don't know how they're doing it, because I've played a lot. Like a lot. I'm over like almost 1,200 hours now, I think, into the game.
An offering for the great serpent.
So these are only like level 32s. See how fast they die? That one's a little higher, 54. There really is no, I don't know what you would say, challenge to space combat anymore for me. I kind of wish they'd make this a little harder. I am on, let me check. It'd be funny if I wasn't on hard mode. Yeah, I'm on very hard, so. Let me try one more. Let's try this planet over here. This actually looks like it would, whoops, be a livable planet. It's got 0.88 G, so it's only 12% less gravity than Earth. Lots of life. I don't know about the magnetosphere. Yeah, let's go. I was thinking about planets like, for some the reason the Freestar Collective keeps setting up their colonies on planets that have like really high gravity, like 1.5 G. So if you weighed 100 pounds, you'd be 150 on one of their planets, which is crazy. That's like a really high gravity for a person to sit there all the time. Okay. I don't see anybody coming out there. Let's try this moon. See how thin that looks? I like it.
You have met your doom.
That's a level 52. I'll slam on the brakes, see if I can get in behind him. Boost.
Judgment.
Wait till the lock starts. There we go, and then I can start shooting. Don't have to be locked on, but once it starts locking onto him, then you know he's not boosting anymore. Let's see. Anyways, let me fly out of these rocks, and then we'll take a look at the ship from the outside. And then try to get a nice little glamour shot. I found that if you hit the brakes and then do the thing at the same time, if you slam on the brakes, see all these forward-facing engines? They'll be firing when you go into photo mode, which is kind of cool looking. So this is the ship, Class B. I think, I'll be honest, this is probably my favorite design that I've done so far. Like my other Capybara ship builds are nice, but I really like the way this looks. Yeah, get a shot from underneath. So anyways, I like that these thrusters are actually functional. Like they actually, well, not functional, but they actually have the graphic for the thrust when you hit the thrusters. So that's kind of nice. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'm trying to like think the only reason to really do a Class C ship in this game is if you want cargo, like more cargo. But really, the Class Bs are so close in power. The max reactor for Class B is 39 power, and the max reactor for Class C is 40 power, so it's 1 power difference. And to be honest, the weapons are so powerful on the Class B side. These PBO 175s they just shred, along with the Vanguard Obliterator auto projectors. So I don't really find any difference in using Class C versus Class B weapons, other than the fact that the Class B weapons weigh a lot less. So that's really cool. But yeah, I'm happy with the way this came out. Thanks for watching the video.